Good morning, YouTube. Mr. Miz here, out in New Galilee. It is Veterans Day 2024. So let me first start by saying Happy Veterans Day, especially to all of my brothers and sisters who served and helped to defend our great nation. Thank you very much for your service. This spot has been featured in any number of my videos because it's a great place to catch trains. It's also been in some videos from some friends of mine that are from this area, like Historic BF and Wally P26. But today, I wanted to show you something else. So we're at VFW post 8106, and they have a very nice memorial display here. You may have seen it in the background of some of my videos and others that have done videos here, but I just wanted to show you this display. So I'm going to kind of walk around, get the sun out of your eyes and mine, and just kind of give you an idea of what they have here. It's a very nice display, and if you ever are in the area, I definitely check it out. So the first display is an AH-1 Cobra. So this is actually the same engine that they used in the Huey. This was developed in the 60s primarily to help out with fire support in Vietnam. And it's something to see. Down here it has, I believe it's a 20mm Gatling gun. Here you can see the camera that was used to find targets. These little stubby things are not actually wings. They're pylons that are used to support the missiles that would have been used, or rockets, on this particular helicopter. In the cockpit, I know with the Apache, the pilot actually sat behind the gunner. I'm not sure if that's the same setup for this. And then as we move down along, you can see the tail rotor. It's kind of shadowed, but you should still be able to see it. And then the exhaust for the gas turbine that would power the helicopter. So again, these were used mainly to deal with enemy forces on the ground. I don't know if they had any real self-defense capability, but given that they were used in Vietnam, they probably weren't encountering too much. Or maybe they were. I'll be honest, I honestly do not know enough about the Vietnam War to really say that conclusively. Our next display is an M60 combat tank. This is somewhat nicknamed the Patton. It actually derives from the M48 Patton. It was never actually called a Patton tank officially, but a lot of people called it that. So when we come up and take a look at this tank, something that probably a lot of people don't realize is just how thick the tread is. So here's my hand for scale. This is probably about 16 to 18 inches across for each set of treads. In the back here is the exhaust. And then as we move around the side, there's the main turret. There's a cupola up there that housed a armored cupola with a 50 caliber machine gun. And then the main armament was a 105mm, I believe, rifled gun. This was a main battle tank. It was used by the Army and Marines, and also was used by a lot of foreign militaries. The Israelis used it. Several foreign militaries used it. Its last major service was with the Marines during the Persian Gulf War in 1991, where it was highly effective. Some other things to see are these prisms up here to give the driver visibility when he was buttoned up. In other words, when they had closed the hatches on the tank. And you can see here, there's the line of where some of the armor meets up. This tank, as you can see, has sloped armor. And this was good for two reasons. First off, it made it more likely that a shell would ricochet if it struck it. And also, by being angled, it gave a higher effective thickness, meaning that the shell would have to penetrate a greater thickness of armor than just the actual thickness of the plate. And this is the second time I'm going to have to pause this video for a train coming by. But you can see here, let me just get this before this train shows up. This is the dedication at the VFW. It reads, "To those who served and fought to preserve liberty and freedom for this great nation, they shall be honored for all time. God bless America." Memorial dedicated by Little Beaver VFW Post 8106. Okay, so the train has passed us. And last but not least at this memorial, we have a 3-inch pedestal-mounted naval anti-aircraft gun. And there's some fascinating history to this. So the primary anti-aircraft battery of the U.S. Navy during World War II was the 5-inch 38 caliber gun. This was one of the most ubiquitous guns in World War II. It was used on almost every type of U.S. naval vessel, carriers, battleships, heavy and light cruisers, and for destroyers it was commonly used as a primary battery. The secondary anti-aircraft battery, or the medium anti-aircraft battery, is usually the 40mm Bofors. And this was a very, very effective anti-aircraft gun. However, as the war went on, aircraft got heavier and heavier, and also with the advent of kamikazes, you needed something with a lot more punch to be able to, basically blast a plane out of the sky before it could ram into your ship. And so the United States developed the 3-inch anti-aircraft gun. Another fascinating thing about this gun is that the U.S. developed a radar fuse. When I was in the Army, we called it VT, or variable time. But this fuse, basically the way it functioned, it was a little sort of stripped down radar set, and you would screw it into the top of the shell, and at a preset distance, if it's detected something like an aircraft, it would detonate the fuse. Or detonate the shell, and this would throw fragments out and hopefully damage, or better yet, destroy the aircraft that you were shooting at. Now, the Bofors could not accommodate the VT fuse, but the 76mm or 3-inch shell could. And so the Navy began to field these. So this particular gun, as you can see, it's a single mount. It would have been on a pedestal. You can see it has degree markers there. There's one of the crew stations, and there would have been some kind of optics mounted there. These would also have separate directors that would give them the data to lead their target. As we go around to the rear of the piece, there's the breech. There would have been, more crew back here to load the shells into the gun. And then as we come around, there's the second crew station. Some of this, I believe, was powered. I mean, certainly if you're pushing with your feet, you're not going to move the thing very much without it having some kind of power to move it. And then these wheels here, they don't turn now, but back in the day, they would have rotated, and this would have moved the gun. I believe it would have probably to adjust the elevation. You can see here this heavy gearing that would have been used to elevate the gun. There's part of the recoil cylinder to bring the gun back into battery after it's fired. Just a beautiful piece of weaponry. And so, as we kind of come out again, let me wish you all once more a happy Veterans Day. I hope you have a great day. And again, to my brothers and sisters that served, thank you for your service.